In a world marked by the advanced technologies and increased movements, learning a new language has remained a constant necessity. In fact, it has become more important now than ever before. And guess what language dominates communications across the world? Certainly, it's English. About 400 million people in the world speak it as their native language, and the total number of Anglophones across the globe stands between 1.5 billion and 2 billion. And this number is forever increasing. We all talk about shaping the future, but the ones that actually do it every day include, among others, teachers. And they actually get paid for that. With us today, we have the three internationally acclaimed teachers who were trained in different countries and are now teaching English language in different countries as well. In their noble journey of equipping more people with the necessary skills to use English effectively, they are now in Bangladesh. They are in particular attending the second TESOL Bangladesh International Conference that is taking place from February 8th to 14th. I'm Tayeeb, Ananto, your host for today. Let me introduce them to you. We have Dr. Maria, Miss Kelly Royster, and Miss Suzanne Mast. Dr. Villalobos is a professor at Rider University, specializing in Spanish, world language, ESL, and bilingual education. Miss Royster has been working as an English language fellow at Premier University Chittagong since August 2023. She is teaching English from North Carolina to Belarus and now in Bangladesh. And Susan Mast have been working as English language fellow at Varendra University since August 2023. Welcoming you all to our show. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you are having a good time in Bangladesh.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, this question is for all of you. Can you tell us about the English language fellow program and English language specialist program? Can you also please elaborate on your host institution and respective roles?
So, I am part of the English Specialist program, and right now what I'm doing is working with TESOL and in Bangladesh as part of the conference. So what I'm doing is really I created the workshops that will help the future teachers or already teachers to implement in their classroom. So that's basically what I'm doing.
All right. We have Kelly Royster as well, ma'am.
So I am an English language fellow, which means that I am here in Bangladesh for a period of 10 months. And I've been assigned to a university in Chittagong, and it is Premier University. And so I teach undergraduate and graduate classes there at Premier University. And I also spend time at the American Corner, English language clubs, teacher trainings, and conferences like this one where I can come and present and also hear from other English language professionals.
That's absolutely fine. Ma'am, Susan Mast, how's your role so far?
I'm also an English language fellow, same as Kelly.
Yes.
I'm stationed at Varendra University in Rajshahi.
Okay.
Also teaching undergraduates and at the American Corner or teacher trainings, workshops.
Okay. Thank you so much. Dr. Maria, I know you were already in Dhaka to attend the International English Teacher Conference. Could you please share some information about the conference?
I think this conference becomes the topic of the conference, which is technology, AI, right now, an area that truly influence and can influence in great ways the work that we do in the language classrooms. So I find this conference to be already ahead of the game, let's put it like that. And there are some terrific lineup of presentations that would really speak to what it means, what AI means, and how does AI can really shape or influence the work that we do in the classroom. So I think the conference has been a perfect opportunity for those that would like to explore more of that new development that just happened a year ago. So
you're in Bangladesh, you have been to Dhaka. I don't know, have you been other cities as well? How's your experience so far?
Oh no, this is my very first time in Bangladesh, and actually it's the opportunity of a lifetime for me to be able to. I'm originally from Colombia, and living in the States, and for me to be able to come to this other side of the world, it has meant to me not only personally but also professionally. So for me to see the work that Bangladesh is doing to really support this kind of learning that eventually will really translate into big gains, it's just incredible. So I very, very much appreciate this opportunity.
Okay. We have Kelly Royster and Susan Mast as well. You're working in different cities. How's your experience of teaching in Bangladesh, and how it's influenced your own approach to language teaching? I will start with Kelly Royster.
Sure. I've had nothing but positive experiences. Love my students. I often say they were very scared of me at first, but after they get used to my crazy American ways, they start to participate and get involved in the classroom. And I think professionally also it's been a great opportunity for me to implement some new things. I've mostly worked with students who are coming to the United States, and so English is a language that they're surrounded by, but here it's a little different because students don't always have that opportunity to practice, and so my job is to give them that opportunity to practice, to encourage them to do so, and to help them just to realize their potential with that language, even though they're not living in an English-speaking country.
So what's the difference you have found between Dhaka and Chittagong cities,
So I haven't spent quite as much time in Dhaka. I think Chittagong is...
the language, maybe?
They do have the Chittagonian language. I haven't learned so much myself, but I don't know, it just has a different flavor, just a little bit of a different flavor down in Chittagong, and I kind of like it down there.
Tone, isn't it?
yeah, because I've been down there for a while, so I'm used to it, yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, Susan Mast, how's your experience in Rajshahi?
It's going well. I've been using a lot of project-based learning, and I find that although the students are not accustomed to that way of learning, they're very enthusiastic and they're ready to take a lot of initiative in their own learning. And so I'm emphasizing learner autonomy. I'm finding that that's having a good effect.
All right, thank you. This question is for all of you. How do you navigate cultural differences while teaching in English in Bangladesh? And what strategies have you found effective in fostering cross-culture understanding? I will start with Dr. Maria.
In this case, I'm coming to a completely different world for me. This is the first time that I'm in a country where I'm not very familiar with the language. And for me, that has been an incredible experience as well. To be able to understand, live, or even remember the process of not knowing a language. And I think that has an impact as well as an educator, a language educator, because it really brings you back to those moments of understanding what it means not to understand every single word. And so for me, in that sense, is incredible. The way that I navigate the cultural differences is always observing culture. I normally just take a moment to observe, and that's how, and understand first and foremost. And then the way how it impacts the practices is, my field is language learning motivation. And I strongly believe, now you mentioned autonomy, those project-based learning, those are moments or methodologies that truly support that motivation. In my case, I consider motivation one of the most important key elements that will keep the student not only learning in the classroom or place their learning in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. And I think this is where we need really to focus as let's open up the opportunity in our classrooms, and then hoping that they will be able to continue the engagement further.
So you're looking for more engagement in the classes,
yes.
As you said. Ms. Royster, would you like to add something as well?
Sure. A couple of things. In the classroom, one thing that I really like to do with the students to engage them is to have them do either games or activities. And as I mentioned, they kind of thought I was a little crazy at first because I'm asking them to get up and participate and do things, whereas they're used to kind of sitting and listening. And so we've kind of had to extend their paradigm of what learning is, right? And after we play a game, we talk about what did they learn, how effective was that, why do you think that was effective, so that they can understand that we're not just playing, we're actually learning, because really, I mean, that's kind of how we learn our first language, right, is through play and through spending time with other people and in situations that we may not be comfortable in. And so that's something that I really try to emphasize in the classroom. I also just wanted to address the cultural issues. So I had the opportunity here in Bangladesh. I brought one of my children with me. So I have my 11-year-old daughter, and I think that's really been a way to open up a lot of avenues to explore the culture here, simply because in Bangladesh you value family so much, and so it's been a great experience for me to be able to take her out and to have some experiences. She loves to swim. We go to the swimming pool on girls' swimming days, and the coaches are great, and they've just kind of, you know, taken us in, and they really don't speak much English, and I don't speak much Bangla, but we're great friends, you know, and so we've had some really good cultural exchanges outside of the university and within the university as well. They take us on trips and show us the country, so it's been a great
it's for you, it's 10 months journey in Bangladesh, I guess.
Yes.
So is your daughter enjoying here?
She is. She's already told me that when we go home, she's, you know, she misses family and she misses home, but she said, Mom, when I go home, I'm going to miss everybody here. It's going to be so hard. And
that's nice.
And we've both talked about just how wonderful the people here are, so it's been a great experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Susan, Mast, would you like to add something with them as well?
Yes, regarding culture, the classroom culture here is very different. It surprised me at first that students would stand up when I go into the room, when I leave the room. If I ask them a question, they stand up. If I give them a paper, they stand up. And so I'd like to have a more informal classroom culture so that we can have open communication. So we're kind of modifying that in my classroom.
Yeah, it's more like, you know, we have that in our culture, that when teacher speaks to a student, so he or she feels like standing and talking to the, so they do it from the respect they have for the teacher. But yeah, eventually if you speak to them and, you know, when they accustomed with the situation, I guess they will be more informal with you as well. Suzanne, I have one more questions for you as well. What have you enjoyed most about living in Bangladesh?
Oh, I really like the variety of fruits and vegetables, some that I can't find in Pennsylvania. I enjoy the countryside. Right now the rice paddies are newly flooded and planted with the new seedlings. That's beautiful to see, the birds. And most of all, the people who are so friendly and open and willing to help and just offer whatever sort of help I might need.
So apart from Dhaka and Rajshahi, have you been somewhere else in Bangladesh?
Sri Mangal.
Sri Mangal?
For a couple of weeks, yes.
Was it beautiful?
It's very beautiful, yeah.
All right.
Chabagan.
The same question is for you, ma'am, as well. Have you been anywhere else in Bangladesh apart from Dhaka?
No, because I just arrived.
You didn't get the time.
I haven't had time.
Do you have any plan going somewhere?
I think there is a day in which the conference, TESOL Bangladesh, has arranged for us to go into a trip. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Looking forward to that.
Do you know where you're heading to?
I think it probably is going to be downtown or Old Dhaka. It's going to be also some of the buildings that are representative of the area. So, and then my next step is going to be going to Nepal. So
okay, that's amazing. Kelly, the same question is for you as well. How do you navigate cultural differences while teaching in Bangladesh? And you have already talked about it anyway. What strategies, the first thing, cross-culture understanding, do you want to add something on that note as well?
Yeah, I guess it's just been really interesting getting to know the people and the culture. Religion's such a big part of the culture here as well, so I'm learning a little bit about kind of the religion. Some of my classroom experiences, I'll ask questions and be surprised by answers because it's something that I didn't understand, just about the culture. And so I'm learning a lot, and I love that I'm doing that. I love that I'm learning, and I'm hoping that I'm teaching my students as well, trying to offer them some insights into American culture and kind of things that we do in my home and where I'm from and that type of thing. So.
All right. And what have you enjoyed most living in Bangladesh, apart from swimming and,
I love riding in rickshaws. I love the fresh fruit also. And I think the thing that I love the most about Bangladesh is just the people. We were told by the embassy before we came here that Bangladesh's greatest resource is its people. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Just great, really warm, friendly people here.
Yeah. Suzanne, ma'am, the same question is for you as well. What have you enjoyed most living in Rajshahi or Dhaka? You know, you have talked about the birds and the fruits. What else do you like most?
Well, I like my neighborhood. The people are very friendly. I've joined a gym, and I've gotten to know some people there. And most of all, I enjoy my students.
Okay. We will take a break on that note, and we'll come back soon for the show. So it's time for the break, and we are coming back within a couple of minutes. Welcome back. I'm Tayeeb, Ananto, your host for today, and we have three special guests as well. We have Dr. Maria, Miss Kelly Royster, and Miss Susan Mast. Welcome back. I will start with Dr. Maria. As mentioned before, you are here for the TESOL BD conference.
Correct.
And can you please elaborate on your keynote speech?
Absolutely. The keynote speech was designed based on AI. So the way that I wrote it was thinking about first understanding what AI means and understanding in terms of language what is it that the AI truly does. And really, not to give out my keynote speech, is basically what AI is good at is to fill in a blank, right, in terms of language. But really processing language in the way that humans do, we still have a long way to go. And that's what my keynote is going to take the audience from first an understanding what AI is, and then moving them to what AI means for us, teachers, educators, or language educators in our classroom. And then how that AI can truly support or not support, and most importantly, looking at AI with a critical eye. Because even though it seems to be this magnificent development, we also need to be aware of bias and a very restrictive kind of language that it offers. So I'm going to take that to the audience in those stages.
How long it going to be?
40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then Q&A.
You must have been so much energy for that as well.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I have one more question as well for each of you. How can Bangladeshi students better prepare themselves for US universities? I will start with Susan Mast.
Okay, so if they're preparing to attend a US university, the TOEFL is an important test. The test of English as a foreign language, or TOEFL, is accepted by many American universities more than IELTS. They could also refer to the US Embassy in Dhaka. The website has many different programs that they can apply for, scholarships and information. What else would you recommend, Kelly?
Yeah, so there's the American Center as well as the EMK Center here in Dhaka. And then in both Chittagong and Rajshahi, we have American Corners. And each of those has an education. Mine has an Education USA. Do you have that as well, Education USA?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, and so that's a great place to go. They've got resources for prepping for IELTS and TOEFL as well. And they also have counselors available that you can make appointments with and go in and visit, and kind of they'll help you to kind of get started on your path towards a U.S. university.
Dr. Maria, would you like to add something as well on that?
Absolutely. In the case if some of the students from Bangladesh are seeing themselves as wanted to pursue their education further in the States, I think it's also key for them to see that it's possible, that they have the American Embassy that will support them in many, many ways by going to that website and look for opportunities. Many, many times, and it happened to me. I remember in Colombia, looking at these opportunities, one time just looking at search, what are the options? And there are, believe it or not, many, many options that can even start you here in Bangladesh, but could really expand the opportunities to make connections with the several universities. The idea is that be proactive in terms of searching, and that search will eventually lead them to a direction. And how will they find that direction? I think having the support of the American Embassy, a great support in Dhaka or Bangladesh, it would be the perfect place to start that search.
Okay. What resources are available for the Bangladeshi English educators at the embassy, ma'am?
Here again, I think the American Embassy is a key partner in this process, and it would be going through the website, programs such as the exchanges. Those are big possibilities. Fulbright. These kind of cultural exchanges are great opportunities for our educators. And also through the American Embassy, making connections will be a place where they can find some guidance of where to start. Because I think it's about starting. Once you start informing yourself about the possibilities, you will find that there are options for you. So I think is to start the process of searching and knowing that they have the American Embassy here in Dhaka to support that. So
I would add the website americanenglish.state.gov is an excellent resource where teachers can go and find. There's so much information there. They have games, activities, research, any topic that you want to research, English, reading, writing, speaking, grammar, listening activities, great resource. I use it all the time in my teaching, and it's available for free. Everything's free, and it's a really great resource to use as well.
Would you like to add something?
Yes, I would especially recommend the Activate games at americanenglish.state.gov. They're free for anyone to print out and use. They're very easy to use in the classroom if you want a fun, interactive thing to do. Another useful app is USA Learns, which is a free app that people can use to learn English.
All right. According to some data, every student search scholarship in Google, but they get false information or misleading information. How can you give them proper roadmap, ma'am?
Oh, the proper roadmap to really, well, first and foremost, see where the address is and where they're sending. I think that is key. And always go to the .org address, type of address, because that's where, and find, what do people say about this particular place or a program. If they cannot find anything about that program, just be aware. Because yes, some universities that we never heard of, the students then they think they are actually legit, and they're not. So research. Do the due diligence to, okay, I found this university. What is it? What are the ratings of that university? Research the ratings. Research what the students, previous students are saying about. Reddit is a great resource to find out what people say about those places. So I think that something that I would do.
So you mentioned going for the right places before researching on that map. Do you like to add something?
I would just reiterate a couple of the things that we've already mentioned, like going through the Education USA so that you know that it's reputable. And also through Education USA, for example, this week, there's going to be a webinar that's I think it's an actual meeting that's going to be broadcast to where I am in Chittagong, but it's coming out of Dhaka, where U.S. universities are coming here to Dhaka, and they're talking about how to attend their university. What are the steps? What do you need? What do you need to do? And so just reaching out to Education USA and the American Corner and finding out the resources that they have, you know that that's going to be a trusted source. You know that going to the US Embassy in Dhaka website, you're going to get trusted sources on where to go and how to approach going to school in the US.
All right. Susan, ma'am, people in Bangladesh have fear of speaking English. You must have already know that because you're teaching in Varendra University. So how can they overcome all that fear they have about English?
Yes, my students feel that they can overcome their fear by doing more speaking, by doing a little bit of public speaking. They can find opportunities for that at the American Corner, at our English Language Club, or with each other. Sometimes they form their own speaking groups to speak with each other and just do more of it.
Okay. Ma'am, how's the environment in Chittagong, in Premier University you are teaching? So how people, they have the fear or they are like,
Oh, as far as that, I think they do have a fear, but I tell them all the time, our research shows that it doesn't really matter if you're speaking to a native speaker or someone who's speaking English as a second language just like you. Just actually opening your mouth, speaking, taking the time and the effort to establish different pathways in your brain for tasks that you don't normally use in English. The more you do that, the more your English will improve. And so that's why we do a lot of that. We do a lot of games, and we do that with my students. We do it at the English Language Club, and they really step out of their comfort zone, so to speak, with their English, and it shows. They improve as they do that.
All right. Dr. Maria, you are here for the conference. So it's been a couple of days, I guess, or maybe more than that. So how are you feeling when you are talking to the people of Bangladesh in English? Are they communicating?
Oh my gosh. It has been an incredible experience, and I have to say that that was one of my fears, talking about fears, is coming to a country that I did not know a lot about and knowing about the people. But as you said, Kelly, about the incredible human, not human power, but welcoming, and how the audience have received what I prepare for them is being a just magical experience for me. So I think in that regards, it has been, I have been nicely surprised by how we have been able to connect with the audience, and it hasn't been that different. And I think it's due to the fact that the people in Bangladesh is really welcoming. When we're talking about inclusion, and this is one of the areas that I'm talking a whole lot, is one of the topics of the conference. And I think the mindset is already here. I have never felt so much part of in cultures like this one, in other cultures like this one. It's been incredible. Okay, but we are almost in the end of the show. So, are you enjoying Bangladeshi foods? Is it too spicy for you? That as much as I have been able, because I have been going through some. It's been difficult for me. I love. Let's put it how much I enjoy the food. I adore the Indian food. Oh, okay. So, and I know they're very, very close. And that has been one of my, say, the disappointment with because I have had to deal with some unsettling at the beginning of my journey. But I'm really looking forward to really, dig into the cuisine. I have friends from Bangladesh back home, and one of the things that they told me is the food is incredible. You're gonna love it, Maria, because you love the Indian food. So you're gonna. I said, yes, I know, and so I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to it. Royster, have you tried Bangladeshi foods? I have. My daughter loves paratha, so we always have paratha in the freezer for her to eat, and we like dal. And also roshogola. I like a little roshogola, but
It is a little spicy. Sometimes biryani and things like that are a little bit spicy for me, so we stick with our dal.
Okay, so you cook by yourself sometimes?
Actually, my 11-year-old daughter loves to cook and be in the kitchen, so she does that a lot. So we haven't branched out quite as much, but I had shingara yesterday or a couple days ago, and I love those. So those were delicious as well.
How's your food experience so far, ma'am?
Oh, it's good. I live in Rajshahi where they have kalai roti. I don't know if you've ever had it, but it's delicious.
Delicious. Okay, thank you so much for being here. It's a nice and great shows for us, and we are really looking forward to it. I hope the people enjoyed the show and they will be more interested in this course which is provided by US Embassy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you.
Great to be here.
Yes, great.
That's all for today. Good night. Take care.